Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. I am Sam Spurs for Life, and this is the PAXTON Road TV preview show, should I say, for the game Spurs versus Aston Villa, and kicks off tomorrow, 2 p.m. I think you can probably catch it on Sky, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. But we'll be watching the game. We'll have a number of people from the stadium, should Spurs be there. But I'm joined for the preview show in the house, Mike Hotspur Hustler and Darius 3K. Welcome, gentlemen. Let us get into the show. How are we doing after our game? Yes, against Ennis Moore. Okay,
doing good. I was going to say the Harry, Ron, and Hermione of PAXTON Road, the Luke Leia and Han Solo of PAXTON Road has returned. Don't know who's who, but the iconic original trio is back. It's nice to have you guys. So yeah, to be honest, I like I said, I don't really care about the Thursday game, so I've sort of just put that behind me and gone straight to this game. So yeah, I can't really use it. We said in our hour and 20-minute NS Mora review that we can't really count that game as anything. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it.
We were supposed to be on 15 minutes, and then the back and forth that we had with Mike, myself.
It was a really good debate. It was a really good debate.
It was like, it'd be a quick review. Hour later, I was still on.
There's no, like I said on the show, there's no way we should be talking about a football game for that long against NS Mora. There's just no way. Just no way.
Absolutely. But as I said, this is what it's about. We've got opinions, we've got things to discuss, and we can all talk a good game. So yeah, that's what happens. But before we start the show, like, subscribe, share, comment. PAXTON Road TV. Very, very, very close to 1,000 subs. We could possibly get it this weekend. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this on repeat, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you've not smashed that subscribe button already, help us, analytics, all the rest of it. Good stuff. Leave your comments. Anything we can do to improve the shows, we're more than welcome to take all your comments. And thank you for supporting the channel. Let us do this. Okay, so following the game versus Ennis Mora, whatever Darius called it last time. How do you feel? How do you feel the vibes are going into this game on Sunday? Start with you, Darius. How do you think Nuno's feeling? I've got a little bit of things that I'm going to show up later, but how do you think that has maybe affected the mentality going into the game tomorrow? A 5-1 victory.
I think the feel between sort of the core group, the team and the fans is almost polar opposite. I don't think they will be as sort of, as distraught and sort of negative as a lot of fans I've seen be over the past 3 weeks. And to be fair, there is really a lot of reason for that. I just think at the same time, it's just creating sort of a split that is very reminiscent of when Wenger was at Arsenal. It's almost complete split with some people on Nuno. I think some people are willing to give the guy a chance and see sort of the circumstances that he's been in. But some people I know have almost just completely given up with him, sort of the football that he plays, the formations, the lineup. So it's very, very divided at the moment. I think that 5-1, for me personally, doesn't do anything. If Dane Scarlett had scored a hat-trick against Murray, then I'd be like, yeah, great for Dane Scarlett. You've come on against a professional team, you scored a hat-trick, you look good. But Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick, I watched the highlights finally, literally this morning, last night, and the goals were so easy to score. He was making runs that you expect him to make. He was staying in the box. He was going to do that because he knew he could do that against the opposition. I want to see him do that against Aston Villa now. Let the team create the chances for you. Have a bit of trust in the team, and let's see what we can do. But yeah, I just think that those players will they have a lot to prove. A lot to prove after the Arsenal game. The Murray game doesn't do anything for me. So, in my opinion, I'm still going based off that result on Sunday. And if it's anything in those, if there's anything in those players, they will come out on fire, guns blazing for this game tomorrow, because they have to rectify what happened last week. I look back at it and it was absolutely disgraceful last week. I really do believe
the words that some people use. Alistair Gold used the words disgusting. I've never seen Alistair Gold so vocal about something. When he used those sort of, you can tell it was really affecting, how people's view was of players and managers, because it wasn't just a manager, it was the players as well. So that whole combination, when you see it, as you just said, it was disgraceful. But we've got to move on.
Like I said, I think it was probably worse than the Crystal Palace. In my opinion, it was the worst game of the season. It was horrible. It was disgusting. That's the perfect word to use. It was disgusting.
Yeah, Mike, I'm going to come to you. How do you think the that previous game has now affected the attitude of the players and the manager, because I'll come to a bit of the later on in the show when we just got a little bit of a clip from Nuno in his press conference post the Thursday game, which was obviously directed towards Sunday's game, and looked a little bit tired. I think obviously the fact that he got the victory just kind of pulled a little bit more time to breathe out of him. But how do you think the attitude for both the players and the manager is going to be going into tomorrow's game?
I'm of mixed opinions. Like, part of me thinks, yeah, they're gonna want to come out and put things right from last week. Part of me thinks that if we play players out of position and we're utilising a said formation that just stinks, then I wonder if they'll just be like another repeat of the last 3 weeks. And I honestly, if someone says, "How do you think they'll perform?" I honestly, I'm really not too sure at the moment. And I'm. It's not a case that the players overnight have become bad or anything like that, because they haven't. It's this whole saga of formation. The formation, like he says, I think we utilised the same formation on Thursday as we have done the last 3 weeks, but it did look slightly different, i.e. it looked like we had more, not that we needed it, but there seemed at times there was 2 holding players. Then it looked like there was 3 in front, and then Scarlett up top. Then it looked like at times there was a 4-3-3 formation being implemented. So what I hope is that they put things right, that the last 3 weeks is just a case of getting used to each other. I'm literally clutching at straws here, but getting used to each other, formation. I just hope they come out and just hit the ground running and put things right the last 3 weeks. I'm struggling for words just because I don't even know what's going. Like, other than the formation, I honestly, I've got mixed emotions and mixed thoughts about it, the whole thing. So, yeah,
it's yeah, and I think you're right in that. From what we all had, different views about how things went on Thursday in terms of, did it do anything for the players? Did it do anything for the manager? Did we get anything from it? I guess there was some positives from it. As you said, Harry Kane getting a hat-trick, looking happier.
Yeah.
If he can take that into Sunday in the same attitude, certain players looked like they were more comfortable, particularly in that part where you were saying we had the 2 holding. Now, I know, again, we have to balance that up because it was Mora, but there was them 2 holders, and then we had Dele Alli in front. Although he didn't have his best game, the shape looked a little bit better to me. It still was. There was a little bit of times when it looked a bit disjointed because there was some gaps in the midfield. However, we've got to move on. We've got to see if he makes these changes. And I'll just come to the next part here. Let's get on in terms of, because the pressure's on. If we look at where we are on the table now, 3 wins, we was top of the league. 3 wins, 3 games later, we're now 11th. And although the gap between us and the top of the league is only 5 points, it's the form going into it. So this is a big game. This is a really big game. Would you say that this is probably Nuno's biggest game so far of his managerial career at Spurs?
Yeah. Do you know
Sad
what?
to say, isn't it?
It is. After 6 games, we're saying
exactly
6 games, and we're saying this is possibly his biggest game. It's only his biggest game if he doesn't lose and we get battered by another 3 goals. I mean, we won't. If he plays out 4-3-3, I don't know if I can stomach watching it. I'll have to close my eyes. If he plays the 4-2-3-1, which it looked like we did employ that formation to a certain extent on Thursday, then I think we'll have more joy. There won't be that gap in the midfield, in the middle. It just won't be there. Højbjerg and Skip. If Højbjerg and Skip in the double pivot, there will be no gaps in that midfield for us to be exploited. So I hope Nuno I pray he learns a lesson and just sort of like
I think
more 4-3-3.
The fact of being at home will make a difference as well, don't you think? Because I honestly believe that our away form is going to be pretty disastrous this season. I think that Our home form will be benefited by the fans being there. I think that I saw that when I watched those first 3 games, that the fans did make a difference. I just don't know, and this is very, 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 very sad to say in my opinion, but I just don't know if we have enough quality to beat Villa with the sort of tactics that are being displayed and the lack of creativity and the lack of chances created in the game. I don't know if we're going to be able to take our chances against a good goalkeeper in Emi Martinez and decent defense as well. That's what I feel is, if Kane's not on it and Son is not on it, the players that we have aren't those players to sort of take 1 or 2 or need 1 or 2 opportunities to score. When we've got Kane and Son up front, we can sort of allow maybe 3 or 4 shots on target because Son and Kane will probably score from 1 or 2 of them. But Lucas Moura, even Dane Scarlett, some of these players, they need 3 or 4 chances to score. And I don't know if Aston Villa are going to allow us those sort of, or that many chances in the game. So I don't really know how to feel about this game. I'm actually very nervous for this game, and it's quite sad to say.
I think we've got, if we play our strongest, again, that's down to Nuno to work out what his strongest 11 is. But I think on paper we will be able to be better than Aston Villa. I'm just saying that with the loss of Jack Grealish, I know they've replaced him, Bentley, and all the rest of that stuff, good stuff. But on paper, Son, if you look at Son, Kane, Højbjerg, Skip, you've got Moura in there, you've got Dele Alli, you can throw in Ndombele, you can throw Lo Celso obviously after the game Thursday. You could put Romero, Dyer, if that is a partnership that can work. Look at the fullback. We've got plenty of good players.
Yeah. So do they. Leon Bailey, Emre Buendia, Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, El Ghazi, Douglas Luiz. They've got a very, very good team, that Villa team.
100% agree with you. So you're right in what you're saying about the home advantage if the fans stick by them. Now, what I was going to ask, my question was going to be asking, are we buying into these reports that some of the players are not happy with the training methods, are not happy with Nuno? Because I'm not buying into that. But it doesn't help when you start hearing this. When we heard that with Mason, we heard that with Jose, we heard that at the end of Poch's reign sort of thing. These sort of things is either somebody who's wanting this to come out or players who are in that squad who are not getting a game and thinking, I'm just going to cause problems, which is not good.
The one I did believe was the Lo Celso one, to be fair. Did you hear that one where apparently he's a very, it was a weird report. They said that basically he's got a very dry humor and he's got a very sort of straight attitude and people can't really get with it, but obviously the players enjoy it and his closer friends enjoy it, but like the coaching staff think he's very dry and blunt. And it's like, what? Who cares? Do you know what I mean?
You could argue it's different cultures, not understanding different cultures' sense of humor, their personality, character. Do you know what I mean? I don't. What you'd like to think is that Tottenham fans or football fans in general just don't believe anything that the media says. Surely we'd have all learned our lesson by now and just be like, you know what? The media said we were after 30 odd different members of different staff, different players, different managers. I'm not believing anything the media says anymore. Not like in relation to Tottenham. I'm just done. I'm done. What?
Yeah, they are. They really do. And I'm not going to admit this. I'm not going to say this about the whole Tottenham are the most like hated or slandered team in the media because everybody's whoever you support, you're going to say that about your team. But what I will say is, this summer, ever since the Harry Kane thing happened, it's almost like the media have wanted Tottenham to sort of sell. It's almost like the media trying to get Tottenham to sell Harry Kane more than Man City or whoever was trying to sign Harry Kane was trying to sign. It's very, very strange behavior. And I just think that it's very easy to jump on Tottenham because of our situation, the club we are. And we're always going to get that banter until we sort of either win a trophy or turn things around in general. It's always going to be there. So I just think as a team and as players, you just need to kind of learn to ignore that. And if you have confidence in your manager and sort of your coaching tactics and whatever, then you shouldn't really need to care about what the media says, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure a lot of those, like you said about the foreign players, I'm pretty sure a lot of the foreign players aren't even really looking into British media like that anyway, because it's got such a terrible reputation among the world, British media.
It's horrendous, mate.
It's horrible.
English media is horrendous. It is. When you look at it, even look at it from inside of football, outside of football, they're just anything for a story. And
bad.
We're always going to be like, the media are the worst to Tottenham because we're Tottenham fans, and we're going to But I'm sure Arsenal, I'm sure Man United, I'm sure Chelsea, whoever. Well, maybe not Chelsea because they're in a pretty good.
But even Chelsea are getting a bit of grief because of the games that they haven't won recently.
Yeah,
So
Thomas Tuchel's been getting a bit of slack.
Well, Man United is another one that I was thinking
exactly.
of because I mean, Ollie's under a bit of cosh because United are struggling for form. But
they've got a new manager in Cristiano Ronaldo now, so he's under pressure himself. I understand that.
We should just ignore it. Like the fans should just ignore the media. Just hopefully the players and Nuno don't. I mean, they're seasoned professionals.
I know Nuno doesn't care.
I can't imagine they pay any attention to the media. But
I'm going to play this clip from Nuno because he was asked in this press conference, which was very short. It's about 7 minutes long. But he was asked about the game plan, how the players didn't seem to buy into his execution of the game plan. He was asked, "Is that going to happen again?" And this is his response to that.
I have to make sure that doesn't happen again. This is my job. I have to make sure that doesn't happen again. So let's prepare it well, and we'll prepare it together, and we'll stick together.
Okay. So again, that was one of the short experts.
No, man.
Do you know what? I'm happy with that. Like, it's the far as just keep it short and sweet. Just don't even take their nonsense, mate. Just
he doesn't play it back. Like I said, it was only 7 minutes long, and he was asked about 6 or 7 questions. And
he wanted to get home
at the whole of the interview.
He just wanted to go straight home. Squid Game was on his TV, ready to watch.
Do you know what? Do you know what these managers should do? They should all take a leaf out of Alex Ferguson's book. If he wants to talk to them, he'll talk to them. If he doesn't, he'll just like, I'm not talking to you. If you want anyone from Man United, I'll send someone. But he probably preps them as well.
You get that, don't you? When you're Alex Ferguson, you're allowed to do that, aren't you? I guess.
Well, that's the thing. Just take a leaf out of his book and just play the media how he wants to play them, and that's what the managers should just be like. Because,
like I said, the reason that we also are getting ragged on is because we went from obviously. And I didn't say this because of obviously what happened last season, but we were obviously top of the league with 3 wins and we came crashing down. We obviously have now gone below Arsenal in the league, who were bottom of the league after 3 games. So it's to me, it's obvious why the media are onto us, but it doesn't justify it. You know what I mean?
No, we have to accept that that's what's going to happen. Any team in that sort of situation is what I think as Spurs fans is we have flip flopped between Nuno, that's fantastic, and now it's like he's dead man walking. We can't just be so.
I'm not like that,
and that's just it's quite normal when you have. I think what it is for me is not seeing the performances. Not so much the results, because I said results happen in football all the time. But when you see a consistent performance, and this is what the next question I wanted to ask Mike was, what tactics and formation does Nuno now need to employ? I think I'm going to know your answer, but what does he need to do in terms of how he sets his tactics up, how he sets his formation up to really get the best out of the players that he's currently got now? Not about what he might get in the future, but what he has now. Do you think that 3-5? Do you think he might have to go to a 3 at the back? For instance,
I think he's got the players to go 3 at the back because he's got 3 centre backs who are more than capable. Like, I could easily complement each other's games as a 3. I mean, you could go Romero, Tanganga, Rodon. I think that would be a fairly decent back 3. Sanchez, to be fair to him, and Dyer, not both of them in the same back 3, but either one of them, along with Romero and whoever, like Rodon or Tanganga, I think would work. Like you've got the wing backs in Romero. You've got the wing backs in Emerson and Reguilon, who could easily bomb up and down the wing back, up and down the flanks for the majority of the game. The only thing with the 3 at the back is that you lose that. You lose a midfielder, don't you? A forward within even a midfield. Well, you do. You lose a forward in the midfield, don't you? Compared to if you're going with 3 up top, for example. But for me, you could, I mean, Nuno knows that formation, doesn't he? So it could work, especially when he's coached it majority of his managerial career. But these players, for me, are probably more used to the 4-2-3-1. And I think for us, we play better when we're utilising that formation. Everyone seems to just know it, and the players that we have in currently are comfortable. I feel that are probably more comfortable playing that formation. And if you've got Højbjerg and Skip in front of the back 4 protecting it, it does allow your fullbacks to bomb on and attack, because they're just going to sweep up anything that comes out loose, or if they've got to break up an attack, they will do that. But But again, I mean, you look at when we lost at the weekend and the other two games. I mean, set up against Arsenal with 3 against, what was it? Would they have 5 at midfield, something? You're asking for trouble, aren't you? So
they played 4-3-3, but like you said, Sam, Smith Rowe does what he does every single time against Tottenham. Just basically plays centre mid and fills up the midfield. So it was obvious to see. That's
and you're always going to get outnumbered. We were always
happens every time. Happens every time.
So I'm just praying. Yeah, I'm praying Nuno just learns a lesson. Don't play 4-3-3 ever again.
From what you're saying, Mike, and I think you're right in what you're saying. At this present time, 4-2-3-1 does seem to suit because it's got the balance between the defense and the attack in terms of players and numbers. If you go to a 3, you're going to lose one of the attacking influences potentially of a player. Someone like potentially Lucas might have to drop out if he goes 3-5-2, because you're going to probably accommodate Son and Kane in that too. And then in the midfield 3 behind him, I can't see where Lucas is going to play. He could potentially play in that number 10 behind, but I don't see that. I'll probably see Skip and Højbjerg, and then either Lo Celso, either Dele, or maybe an Ndombele behind, as opposed to Lucas Moura or a Bergwijn. So it's really interesting. So what do you think, Darius, in terms of, because I know you're very much an advocate of the 3 at the back in terms of how it could benefit us. What do you see Nuno playing going forward?
I don't think he's going to change it. I'm going to be real with you. The most he'll change is to a 4-2-3-1, but again, you can change the formation to a 4-2-3-1 if you pick the certain players that are going to play in that formation. It isn't going to change. I just want to show you guys, well, not even show, but tell you guys something. For me, like we said, I'm not too fussed about the formation. I'm not too fussed about even the personnel. If we were creating, 5, 6, 7 chances a game, but the amount of shots we've had on goal, we've had the lowest amount of shots in the league. This is below like Burnley's, Crystal Palace.
I've seen him.
Norwich's. 56 shots on goal in 6 games. And for reference, top 4 is Liverpool 141, City 115, United 107, and West Ham 97. That's unfit. Like, genuinely, I want to say that's sackable, because that is not right. You cannot do that.
And that's the point about the performances, because if we just had like 100 and something shots and we still was in the Wolves, at least we've seen he's trying to attack, he's trying to do this. But when you have our bottom of the stats for
a lot of stats shots, as well.
A lot of those stats were bottom.
I'm not dribbling, distance covered, bottom of that.
Distance covered. Again, distance covered. I can understand the modern game about players running, and Liverpool has kind of made that the factor of playing. But when you're a team, if you're possession based and you're holding the ball well, you don't necessarily have to be the top of those stats, but you still need to be quite high up. Don't get me wrong. But when you're in the mud and you're not performing well and you're bottom of those stats as well, that just says it looks and it makes it appears that the players are not trying, which I'm not quite sure is the case, but they can do more. Mike, I'm just going to come to the last 5 matches versus Villa. At home, we lost the last one, 2-1. I can't remember that game.
I can't remember that either.
2-1 L.
I'm trying to think, was that Grealish? No.
Was that when Tanganga and Rodon played centre back? Or did we win that one?
No.
No. We won that Villa game. We won that one. I'm pretty sure we did.
I should have had a check about this one, because that was the last game we played against them. But going back,
was it May 2021, wasn't it?
Yes. Carry on. It was towards the end of the season, wasn't it? But what I was trying to get to is we've done very, very well against Villa in recent times anyway. Going back to, these are all Premier League games, by the way, going back to 2016.
Guys, of course. Sorry to interrupt you. The regular own goal.
Yeah.
Of course. And then Ollie Watkins.
That's a bad reminder now.
I raised it from my memory bank. It was that bad a performance.
I remember that was a horrible performance.
That day.
It was a horrible performance.
Awful. Yeah.
That was the game. The Regulon booted it into his own goal.
Oh no. Horrible performance from that team that day. That's terrible.
Definitely.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, getting back to the point now, let's take this comment off the screen. We have done well against Villa, and I know all those games did include Jack Grealish in there. Do you think, and I'll come to Mike first, do you think that it's more about what we do tomorrow as opposed to Villa? Because they don't have Jack Grealish in the team. As we've talked about, they have got some really good players. Darius has reeled off those names. I don't want to hear them names anymore. But the point is, are we focusing too much on them? do we just need to focus on what we need to do?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
We need to focus on what we're doing tomorrow. Don't worry about Villa as such. I mean, obviously, Nuno will know their threats and their strengths, but also he should know, and the staff should know what their weaknesses are. I'm sure the players will. This is just basics, isn't it, for any professional football team?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to stop worrying about the opposition so much and concentrate on us. But I mean, we're all going to, if we see 4-3-3, we're all going to be concentrating on what Villa do, because we're just going to know it's just going to be like, what's the point? We know what's coming. And it's not, I repeat, this isn't because we have bad football players. I mean, we've got a team, a squad. Maybe, well, the squad might be lacking in depth, but we certainly got a first 11 that can easily compete with anyone in the league. But it all boils down to tactics, doesn't it? If you haven't got the right tactics, especially in the Premier League, then you're going to get beaten. And we've seen it. Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace beating us 3-0. It's just nonsense. But
and we give them and that's what I mean.
It's so painful.
We give them the confidence and now go on, and now they're doing all right. That's what's annoying.
It's the same with Chelsea. We gave them the goals. Like the deflection
was unlucky. Yeah.
Was unlucky. I mean, you can't do nothing about that. And it just seemed like it took forever and a day to hit the back of the net. But yeah, I just want Tottenham to turn up.
I just put this graphic up, and it's slightly wrong. It's Ben Davies is in the left back. This is the lineup.
Sam, I'm going to say, please tell me you did that on purpose. Please tell me you did that on purpose.
I was like, I looked at it now thinking, he didn't play in that game because it would have been worse than that. It was actually Reguilon. So apologies.
Did you leave his name out on purpose, Sam?
Oh, I left something out on purpose. I don't know what I was doing, but
did you leave his name out on purpose? Because he should be number 33. He should not have a name Ben Davis. So I'm happy you left his name out, to be fair.
The point being, and that goes back to what Michael was saying earlier about this system, this 4-3-3. If we employ this system with those players and play like how we did against Arsenal, there's only one outcome, regardless if it's home or away. So there has to be a change in mentality. There has to be a change in tactical approach. There also, I believe, has to be a change in the formation. I think Skip has to come back in based on his performances anyway. And if he was alongside Højbjerg in that too, it's then who's going to play in front. Who would you want to play in front if that was a system that you were going to employ, Darius?
Who would I play up front, did you say?
Well, who would you play in like the I guess the position in front of Højbjerg and Skip?
For this game, if we were to play 4-3-3 for this game, I would play
4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. I would play I would play Ndombele 100%, or Brian Hill. Is Bergwijn fit or not? Is he still out?
Still out.
He's still out. As is Ryan Sessegnon.
I would start.
As is Ben Davies.
Okay, thank God for that. Thank God for that. I would start Brian Hill out wide, and I would start Ndombele in the 10. I know that Villa have quite a robust and hardworking team, but Ndombele against Villa he plays very well against Villa, and I think that these are the sort of games where you just have to have faith in him. Like, I'm sorry, but again, with the lack of chances created and the lack of creativity and just a lack of excitement for watching Tottenham at the moment, every time when Ndombele is on the ball, I'm always cracking a smile or just getting a little bit excited. Even if we're 2-0 down or whatever, when Ndombele is on the ball, it's entertaining. And at the end of the day, if we're taking only 56 shots in 6 games, the least I want is entertainment. So I think he will have a good impact on the game. I think he should start in the 10. Let's also had a good game against Mora, but again, I'm not what's it called? I'm not looking at that game to sort of give people excuses to start in the Villa games. So Villa would have battered Mora 6-7-1 as well. So I would say Ndombele or Lo Celso. Ali, don't care what anyone says. Don't care. Don't need him in a team. Don't even need him in a squad.
Don't upset Sid.
I'm sorry.
He's not going to be too happy when you say this.
I'm sorry,
but can't do that.
Dele Alli is just... he almost had me. He really almost got me. He really almost got me with this new hard-working, running around centre mid role. And I came to my realization that he ain't doing nothing. And I'm getting onto Winks for not doing nothing in that role. So I can't not get onto Ali for not doing nothing in that role. I'm not killing him. And I might have an agenda. I might have an agenda. And the reason I'm like lost faith is because like he might be playing that position, Mike, but even if we moved him back into the position that he normally played, he ain't bagging goals like he did. And that's why I'm like, okay, so what is he going to do then? Do you know what I mean? Is he just going to model our new kits? Is he? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm going to come to Mike then. Mike, do you think what kind of Kingsley is saying? What do you think, guys, of Gil? Do you think he could play more of a part to help you create? What's your thoughts on him? And I'll ask Mike on that one.
I do really like Hill. I think he's a great talent. It's just where you fit him in the team. Where would you fit him in the team? His downfall, the only downfall for him at the moment is he's just not strong enough. I think he's a little bit too weak as a player, but he just needs to just get more muscle up and just be a bit stronger. But for me, if you're going to play Hill, play him out wide,
left or right.
On the left, purely on the basis that he plays there he played there for his previous club, which I've completely forgotten off the top of my head.
On loan at Eibar. He was left wing at Eibar when he was on loan. And for Spain, he's even if it's under 20. Well, in the Olympics, he was utilised out on the left, and for the 5 or 6 caps that he's got for the national team, like the full squad, he's been playing out on the left. So, and he reminds me of an old-fashioned. A proper old-fashioned winger. He wants to get the ball. He wants to go hit the wing, hit the flank, hit the byline, put the ball in the box. He's very direct in that sense. I don't think at the moment his movement would suit a number 10, but he's just too left-footed. That's what I just think. Play him where his strengths are at the moment. Let him get used to the Premier League. So in that sense, play him out on the left. That would mean where would you put Son? 2 up front.
This is what I'm saying. If he goes with this 3, so how do you fit Gil in then? 3-4-3-5-2.
Oh, 3-5-2. Okay, so
you have to then play him behind.
You have to play behind, yeah. And I honestly think that would work, because if you had Reguilon bombing down the left and Emerson going down the right, and you had even if Ndombele's, because Gil works hard. I think that's what separates him to a lot of players. Yeah. He's always pressing, he's always harrying, he's always working hard. So if you have him in that 10 working hard like that, being robust, and then you've got Kane and Son up front behind him, because he's got a very good eye for a pass. I think that could work very, very well. I think that could really, really work. And I just don't think we're ever going to see it. And part of me understands that, because
this is not. We shouldn't be saying this. This is what Nuno Nuno works with these players.
He's under pressure. He's not going to take a. He's not going to.
This is what he's paid for, though, isn't it?
He's paid the bucks to work this out. This is not for us to work at. This is for us to make our opinions on. He sees them. He sees what they do. He knows their strengths. He knows their weaknesses. He can do formations. When we used to train, we used to do certain little drills where you could see how you could play in areas of the pitch, maybe in the middle, maybe, as I said, up front and defensive. So you can work out, right, he seems to be able to do quite well one-to-ones here against it. Or he's getting into positions in the central area and he can go, like what Mora does, he can go both sides now because of his dribbling ability, but then his final pass might be very good. Gil might have the ability to find that final pass, but he's not going to get that from the left-hand side or the right-hand side. He might need to be more central to do that. But Nuno's paid a lot of money to work these problems out.
He's not going to take a risk. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to take a risk when he's under this much pressure. Do you know what I mean? If we were 14, like Brighton, 13 points, 14 points, shouldn't really be where we are, then you'd be like, yeah, okay, he might be able to take a little risk, but I just think he's going to keep it so simple, so understandable, just because
he's only got 1 foot. If I've got a number 10, if I'm playing a number 10, right, I want my number 10 to be able to.
Ozil had 1 foot, and he was a beast. He was a beast. It works. You know what it is for me? If you play him out on the left and he's only got 1 foot, you can't cut in. He's never going to be able to cut in.
Yeah, but all he wants to do though is hit that byline.
Is hit the byline, but you can defend that.
What if you're an intelligent defender for Chelsea? Back in the day, he played on the right hand side.
I know who you're about.
Left-footed.
Not Robin.
I can't remember. Who? Sorry.
Not Robin.
Robin. Yeah, Robin.
How can you forget Robin?
I know
he was on my head all that time.
Comments. Get onto him for that. Comments.
It went out my head, man.
And he said Chelsea. You didn't even say Bayern Munich. Like, that's his most famous team, Bayern Munich. And you said Chelsea. You're old, man. What's going on?
I was thinking of another winger.
That's because I was trying to think of when he played at Chelsea. Don't give me that. That's too much grilling. Robin may as well have had just 1 boot on his left foot because he had no right foot at all.
And he made it work.
Every single time he made that work because you just knew what he was going to do, but he did it regardless of will.
But he never played in number 10 though. He was on either.
He was a right winger. He was a right winger.
And that's what I'm saying.
The thing is, he can go on. Sorry, Mike. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that was the thing with Robin is regardless of what you knew he was going to do, if he was playing out on the right, he was going to cut in on his left and look to get a shot away. Regardless of knowing what he was going to do, you still couldn't defend it. But he's world class. He was world class. Hill's not there yet, so he's still learning and developing. So that's why just get learn your trade and learn the game, because he's only 20, 21, something like that. So for me, if he's comfortable playing on the left, then if he's going to play, put him over there.
Slightly off topic, but I think that ambidextrous sort of 240 players will be almost common. I think in terms of coaching and training from academies, I think they're going to be getting kids to be doing your
100%.
Your left and right foot training, like it's literally the exact same amount, because every single player who's both footed is got such an advantage in that.
What they do in the NBA is that's how they coach the youngsters. They coach with both hands, right and left-handed. So if you're right-handed, they get you to do it with your left hand, because you can't play basketball with this one hand, because you can easily. No. It's the same with football. If you play in a certain way and you know that player can only do one thing or one foot, you can actually play them into areas. And this is what some players get done. But if you're a really world-class player, like we talked about Robin, you can maybe get away with it.
That's why Villa, if Hill plays on the left tomorrow, all Villa have to do is just show him inside, because he hasn't got a right foot, and then it just makes his life difficult.
It does make it difficult. This is the favourite part. Well, it used to be my favourite part of the show. It's not really at the moment. But we've got to do it because it's part of it.
Oh, mate.
Who wants to go first this time? I don't want to go first.
I don't know if you want me. I don't know if you want me to go first.
Oh no!
We're gonna have to put Darius first, because I know what he's going to do.
I don't know.
Let's go with Darius first.
We can't end the show with Darius last.
I'm gonna have to quote an exact tweet. My exact tweet I said was, after the Arsenal game, from this game onwards, I will never ever gas my team up again, and I'm sticking to that. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Villa. Genuinely 2-1 Villa. I have no confidence in this team. I think Villa have the better team. I think they're in more confidence. I've got zero confidence in this team now. I think that we'll play 4-3-3. I think you'll probably see one of Winks or Ali start. And from when I see that, I'll just shut off completely, mate. So I am genuinely believing that we will not win this game. As sad as that sounds, I don't think we're going to win this game. But if we put on a performance and we sort of at least show me that we can create a couple more chances and take a few more shots, I won't be that mad, honestly. But I have zero, like Leon Bomber Clark Bailey and flipping Emi Buendia and Manny Ings. I don't like when I see those players. They're players that can play for my team, and if Romero has to start. Romero has to start really and truly. Right. There's a lot of things I need to see for me to be confident about this game, and I don't think it's going to happen, which is why I don't think we're going to win the game or even get a point.
Do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
You go next.
All right. Sorry, I'm not going to be quite. I'm not going to be quite there with Darius on this one. The reason there's a few reasons. Obviously, I know it's a lot of pressure. So Nuno knows he has to get it right. The players, I think, know they have to get it right as well. If we see a performance like Arsenal tomorrow, there is something seriously wrong, and we all know that. That will go without saying. So he's already said it can't happen again. The players being at home, the fact that he knows, I think the tactics he employed last week against Arsenal cannot be played again. So there's going to be some sort of change. I think it's going to be more protective.
We're going to say this though, Sam.
I know, but home advantage now. That's where we're at home. We've had a bit of confidence. Harry Kane's had a bit of confidence from scoring 3 goals. Goals for goal scorers, that is everything. They don't care who they're playing against as long as they score goals. I think that will take that into the game for us, because he's going to start. I just think if the fans are behind them and we adopt a more not safety first approach, but have that double pivot in there have a base to work from, have that base and then see what the players ahead of him can do, I think we can get a result. I would say that, is it a must-win game? I almost said in a week it was. But I think if he gets a performance and we come away with a draw, but the performance is good and we see the change, you get away with it.
So it must performance game then.
For me, you can't lose. I don't think you can lose tomorrow.
Really?
Okay. I don't think you can lose. but I think he can possibly get away with a performance and a draw. But I'm still going positive. I'm still going. Oh shit! What am I doing? I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I'm doing it. I'm saying Harry Kane's going to get something in tomorrow because he likes Villa. Yeah, but if I'm if I'm going with my heart, it's a 2-1. If I'm going with my head, I think it might be a draw, but performance might have to be top notch. And breathe, Mike. Your turn.
Man, do you know what's probably going to happen is we all write Tottenham off, even us as fans, and then Tottenham pull it out of the bag and be like, okay, Nuno's got another week to put things right. He's got this week. He's done well. We'll give him another week, etc. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to go, and I'm probably going to get absolutely ridiculed by everyone here. I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs. God, mate. If Nuno lets me down tomorrow, mate, I am done with him. Like, literally, I'm done with him. But no, I think I'll go on this basis. I'm going on this basis. I think that Tottenham cannot afford to lose tomorrow.
Oh no.
I think we're at home, which is going to play to our advantage. I think these players know they have to put in a performance, and I'm hoping we see a Man City performance, and literally those players fight like they are playing for the badge. And I do think that the players are sort of still motivated, still fighting for the badge, still want to play for the club. Like, you saw Harry Kane's reaction at scoring a hat-trick against whatever they were called. I can't even remember what they're called, Mura or whatever. But he had a smile. Like, after the game, he got a hat-trick, and you saw him punch the ball down. Him and Son are smiling. Like, you can't tell me that Kane's not sort of still, his heart's still not with the club and he's motivated, etc. I don't buy that. So I'm going on that basis and that's my rationale. I think Spurs have to put it out of the bag tomorrow. The players need to perform for the fans. They're at home. I mean, if they lose or if they stink the place out like they did away to Arsenal last weekend, that stadium is not going to want to be a place for football players to walk off on. So they've got. Really? They have no option. They've got to turn up. They've got to perform. And I think I'm hoping that is the case. And I'm never going to bet against my team losing.
And that's the same for me. I can't say, oh, we're going to lose this game. I can't do it. Just won't. My body won't allow me to do it.
No,
even if I'm thinking it, I just can't do it. But you're right.
Unfortunately,
actually,
I've seen enough of Tottenham.
If we see 4-3-3, then can I scratch my 2-0 win?
You might have to put that.
You can do the reverse. You can say 2-0.
Reverse that.
Put it out on Twitter. That's what I'll do. If I see that starting lineup and I think to myself, no, I'm going to put it on Twitter.
I'm like I said, I'm going to have to put my phone down because I'm not going on Twitter when Tottenham play anymore because I will get my account banned and I do not want my account to get banned. So I'm not going on Twitter when Tottenham play anymore.
But Villa, they favour the 4-3-3, don't they? If I remember rightly.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll play a double pivot because Douglas Luiz hasn't really started, but he normally is like a sole defensive midfielder. Then they'll play John McGinn, maybe Nakamba, maybe somebody else. But for me, because they're away from home, I think they'll probably play like a 4-3-3, but it will be a 4-2-3-1 because they'll have somebody being a little bit more deeper. But I just think that Villa are very, very, very set up for the counter now, especially with Leon Bailey in that team. If he starts, he's a quick player. And if he plays on the right, Reguilon's going to have a lot to deal with him. And that's what I fear is, again, the need for us to see a performance and the need for us to see attacking football might play into Villa's hands, and they might just be like, okay, well, we know you need to do what you need to do, so let's just sit back and we'll catch you on the counter with our quality. And they can do that. It's just whether Nuno will be able to, understand that he has to sort of plan around that. I'm
going to throw this out there. And we've all talked about the performance has to be better, but if the performance was to stink out the show and we were to win 1-0, is that acceptable?
I don't care. I actually don't care anymore. I don't care.
Even
if we did that against Norwich, I wouldn't care.
Yeah. Mike?
As in the current situation, I wouldn't care less how we win.
I don't care. Honestly.
Win. I don't think any team. And this goes. To be fair, I mean, even if we were in a different situation, a win's a win, isn't it? Like if you're playing badly and you get 3 points, that bad performance and you get 3 points, that could help you win the league if you're that type of team that is fighting for the league title, isn't it? So, yeah, if we're playing badly and we win, I'll take it on the chin all day long.
I think we have to. I think we have to. But what it won't do is help Nuno's cause. That's more I'm looking at, because
but you can.
I don't want a manager to get sacked. I'll be honest with you, I don't want him to get sacked. But he's not going to help himself if he doesn't get. We can't be bottom of shooting charts. We can't be bottom of goals scored or whatever it is. We can't be bottom of running chances created. We can't be bottom of these and hope to be anywhere close to the top 6, because we won't be. Because over the season, that will put you into position of close to the bottom 3. So something has to change.
And it's obvious, isn't it? It's the formation change. It's not. This isn't rocket science, is it? I mean, you said this timeless time. It's a simple game. So if the formation isn't working, change it. Right.
So Danny's comment here. Welcome, Danny. Sam, if we win 1-0 playing shit, it means nothing. We will lose the next game or so. And he's right, because the fact is, if we play like that against Man United, let's say we played shit tomorrow against Villa and we got a scrape, like how we may have got through a couple of the games earlier in the season, eventually over time, it will catch up with us. It will definitely catch up with us. So we have to see a performance tomorrow, in my opinion.
But again, you can build upon a result, can't you? If we win ugly, you can still build on that result. So for me tomorrow, for Nuno, it's all about him getting. I know we talk about getting a result, getting a performance out of these players, but the most important thing is getting a result. So a result also, if you win ugly and you're still getting points on the board, it takes that pressure off the team. It takes the pressure off the manager, and then you might start seeing players, etc., performing and playing better. I know there's counter arguments to that, but we need to
2-0, Mike. You said 2-0.
Yeah,
I've got it written down. Don't you worry. I've written them all down.
If my result comes in tomorrow, I am going to be Billy Big.
Please laugh at me. Please laugh at me.
Of course you will. Of course, I expect that, because you know me. If I get the scoreline right,
I'm surprised you didn't go for a 1-0, Sam. I'm surprised you didn't go for a 1-0.
No, I'm getting. It has to be more adventurous for me. That's what the 1-0 suggests that it's like a bit of a smash and grab. The way I'm going for the 2-1 is I don't think we're good enough to keep a clean sheet at this moment in time, depending on who plays. If you play Sanchez Dyer, I'm not thinking we're going to keep a clean sheet tomorrow. I want Romero to come in alongside Dyer if they're both fit.
Agree.
And then we may have a bit more of a base to see. But yeah, we've got to go for some goals tomorrow. Final thoughts, lads. I'm going to come to you, Mike. Final thoughts on the game tomorrow.
Oh, mate, we just need to win. It's a win. I mean, there's no point us playing brilliant and losing, because that's just not gonna suffice with our thoughts and everything at the moment, the current situation with the club. So, good or bad performance, it has to be 3 points. I honestly do not care if we get 3 points. If we play badly, I'll take that on the chin, because you can build upon it. As I say, you can build upon a result. So 3 points.
I hope so, Mike. I really do. 3K. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts is: do you want to know how I know that we are down tremendous right now? I'm looking forward to the international break. That's all I'm going to say. That's how you know it's bad. I'm looking forward to the international break. I'm actually looking forward to next weekend being able to not do anything Tottenham related. So yeah, that should explain everything. But nevertheless, I will hold faith to a small extent if we change our formation. Like Mike said,
it has to be. Oh, mate,
if I see a 4-3-3, bro, I might not watch the game. If I see Harry Winks start, I might not watch.
Well, I said that. I said Harry Winks. No.
If he starts, in fact, no. If he starts, I am not watching the game.
I've said that.
There's 3 players that, if they start tomorrow, I mean, my 2-0 prediction, I deserve to get clipped up. But if I see Doherty, Winks, or Davis start tomorrow, done. I won't predict another. I won't predict another.
Yeah. Davis has got some sort of appendicitis problem. Nuno mentioned that in his press conference.
I think
And
Nuno gave him a little punch in his, right in the side, so you don't have to play. That's
Just
right.
punched him like, get out
Yeah, a
of the
little
club.
appendix punch. You know what I mean?
we cannot see.
Oh.
We cannot see that. Winks. Listen, for me, just a basic last one. We've got to see the right formation. He's got to employ the right tactics, and the players have got to believe in what he tells them. If he sets out a game plan, follow that game plan. If it doesn't work, the manager has to take every responsibility. But what he was saying contradicted. He was saying he set a game plan out, and some of the players weren't doing what he's doing. So we can't have that. I want to see 4-2-3-1 tomorrow.
And that'd be interesting that you said that, Sam, because he called out a couple of players not fulfilling.
And he should.
Yeah.
But so any of those players
should be questioning his tactics.
No, I totally agree. But any of those players that played against Arsenal that aren't playing on Sunday, then obviously that they're the ones that didn't fulfill. Yeah, they're the ones that didn't fulfill the job that Nuno set them out to do. And that's the right thing to do. If you're not following orders by your manager, then don't expect to be playing the following week. So
that team selection is going to be very
it's
interesting.
Going to be interesting.
And how when we see the first couple of minutes how it looks on the pitch, because like I said, you can always see on paper what you think it's going to be, but it's until you see that first opening shot of what their defensive and what the offensive setup looks like, then you'll know. I'll be honest with you, I'm excited, but I'm a bit nervous as well. Excited. Yeah, because it's Spurs, man. We're at home. We shouldn't be going into a game thinking
it's Aston Villa as well. I mean, Aston Villa are not a bigger club than us. Like
they're a better team than not a bigger club. And you know what? They've won something in Europe that we haven't. So I'd even argue that one. But let's not even get into the conversation.
Let's end this positively then. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Which is great news, to be fair.
Make sure you smash that like button. Also, again, I mentioned before, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Please share all our content if you can. We will try and get to all comments, so apologies for not getting to, but big up to all the people watching in the house. Danny, we've got Gunner King, we've got Robert in here. We've also got Pontomac in the house as well. Simply Ace, thank you for watching. Bob Spur, as per usual.
Kuva was there as well, wasn't it?
Kuva is there as well. Again, great to see you guys watching us. Is it Kelly YTV or something like that? My eyesight's not that great at the moment, but I don't care. I'm going. It's time to go. Mike, Darius, let's hope when we see the team selection tomorrow that we're all watching. And it's
you know what I might do? I might just turn on the game at 2:00 and just not even go on Twitter and look at the lineup. I might just turn on the game at 2:00 and just see who's on the pitch, so I don't have to worry about an hour before Winks starting the game. That's just not what I need, mate.
You've jinxed it. He'll start tomorrow. We'll play 4-2-3-1, and he'll start in that double. You know it's going to happen now.
There's no way on earth he can do that, Mike. That's suicidal. He's going to commit suicide. That's all he's doing if he does that.
Darius
he's not that stupid. No, but Nuno is not that stupid.
It's going to happen.
Be that.
It's going to happen.
Mike, I'm so glad you know, because I know what's going to happen. And
I'm coming. No, you're not doing. No, we're stopping the show now. We're coming off. Bye, people.